Now listen, love don't always come with loud words. Sometimes love is quiet. Sometimes love is a man sitting there, feeling everything for you, but not knowing how to say a single word. See, a lot of people think if he don't say, I love you, then it ain't real. But I'm here to tell you something. Some of the deepest love you will ever experience is silent. Love is not always loud, and one of the biggest signs he loves you deeply, but in silence, is this simple truth: his actions speak louder than his words. Some men are not expressive with language. They don't know how to deliver long emotional speeches. They don't always say the perfect romantic lines, and they may struggle to clearly say, I love you. But what they do, that tells the real story. You see, a man who loves you through his actions moves with intention. He shows up. Not sometimes, not only when it is convenient, but consistently. When you need help, he appears. When you are stressed, he pays attention. When something matters to you, it suddenly matters to him too. That is not coincidence. That is care in motion. Silent love is visible in reliability. If he says he will call, he calls. If he promises something small, he keeps that promise. Many people underestimate small promises, but a man who loves deeply understands that trust is built in small moments. Every kept word is his way of saying, you matter to me, without actually saying the sentence. Watch how he responds to your needs without being asked twice. A man who loves through action observes. He notices when you are tired. He notices when something is off. He may not ask deep emotional questions, but he adjusts his behavior. Maybe he gives you space. Maybe he tries to make things easier for you. Maybe he does small things that remove stress from your life. That is love working quietly. Another powerful action is effort. Effort is one of the clearest languages of love. If he makes time for you in a busy life, that is love. If he tries to solve problems instead of avoiding them, that is love. If he stays present in difficult conversations even when he is uncomfortable, that is love in its strongest form. Some men express love through protection in practical ways. He checks if you reached home safely. He worries about your well-being. He offers help before you ask. He stands on your side when situations are uncertain. He may never announce that he is protecting you, but his behavior creates safety around you. Actions also reveal priority. A silent, loving man may not speak big romantic words, but he creates space for you in his life. He includes you in plans. He remembers important things. He invests time, energy, and attention, the three resources people do not give unless something truly matters. Consistency is where actions become undeniable. Anyone can do something nice once, but a man who repeats effort over time is communicating something deeper. His routine behavior becomes a message: you are important, you are valued, you are chosen. You will also notice he listens more than he speaks. When you talk, he pays attention. Later, his actions reflect what you shared. He may fix something you mentioned casually. He may avoid something that bothers you. This is love translated into behavior. The truth is, words can be easy. Words can be borrowed, copied, or spoken without depth. But actions require intention. Actions require care. Actions require emotional investment. When a man loves you deeply but silently, he builds proof instead of speeches. His love is visible in presence, reliability, effort, protection, attention, and consistency. And over time, those actions create something stronger than words. They create trust, emotional safety, and the quiet certainty that his feelings are real. One of the strongest signs he loves you deeply, but in silence, is this: he is always present when you need him. Not loud, not dramatic, not making a show out of it. Just present, and presence is powerful. See, a man who loves you quietly might not flood your phone with emotional paragraphs. He might not constantly talk about feelings, But when something happens in your life, good or bad, somehow he's there. That's not luck. That's intention. Presence means availability. When you're having a rough day and you call him, he answers. When you're overwhelmed and need support, he listens. He may not always have the perfect advice, but he gives you his time. And time is something people guard carefully. If he gives you his time consistently, that's value, that's priority. A silently loving man shows up physically too. If you need help moving something, he's there. If you're sick, he checks in. If you have an important event, he makes an effort to attend. He might stand in the background. He might not seek attention. But his presence says, I'm with you. Now let's talk about emotional presence. This is deeper. Emotional presence means he doesn't disappear when things get uncomfortable. When you're upset, he doesn't vanish. When you're stressed, he doesn't avoid you. Even if he struggles with words, he stays in the room. That's maturity. That's care. Some men don't know how to fix emotions, so they stay steady instead. They sit beside you. They let you talk. They might not say much, but they don't walk away. That steady energy is silent love. He may not know the language of emotions fluently, but he knows he doesn't want you to feel alone. Watch how he reacts during your hard moments. Anyone can be around during good times, but when life gets heavy, a man who loves deeply will plant himself beside you. He may not solve everything, but he becomes support. His calmness becomes comfort. Another sign of silent presence is consistency in communication. He checks in. Maybe not in dramatic ways, but he makes contact. A simple, did you eat? Or how was your day? Might seem small, but it shows you are on his mind. Presence doesn't always look like long conversations. Sometimes it's small, steady touches throughout the day. Also notice how he respects your space while staying available. A mature, silently loving man understands balance. If you need time, he gives it. But he doesn't disappear completely. He lets you know he's still there. That quiet reassurance is powerful. Presence is about stability. When you think about him, you don't feel confusion about whether he'll be there. And that knowing builds emotional safety. A woman feels secure when she doesn't have to chase a man's attention. The truth is, being present requires effort. It requires choosing someone again and again in daily life. It requires making space in a busy schedule. It requires emotional steadiness. When a man loves you deeply but silently, his presence becomes predictable in the best way. He becomes your constant, not because he talks about forever, but because he keeps showing up today. And sometimes the man who shows up consistently is loving you louder than words ever could. Another powerful sign he loves you deeply, but in silence, is that he pays attention to the small details about you. This is something many people overlook, but attention is one of the purest forms of love. When a man truly cares, he observes. Not in an obvious way, not in a dramatic way, but quietly, constantly, naturally. You might mention something once, casually, and forget you even said it. But he remembers your favorite snack, the way you drink your tea, the movie you said you wanted to watch weeks ago. These small memories are not random. They are proof that when you speak, he listens. A silently loving man studies you without making it feel like effort. He notices your moods. He can tell when your energy is different even before you explain it. He may not always ask deep emotional questions, but his behavior adjusts. He becomes softer when you're tired. He becomes patient when you're stressed. That adjustment is attention in action. Details also show up in how he cares for your comfort. Maybe he walks on the side closer to the road. Maybe he saves the last piece of something you like. Maybe he fixes small problems you mentioned once. None of these actions are loud, but together they create a pattern. You matter. When a man remembers the little things, it means you occupy space in his mind. People don't store details about someone they don't value. Memory is emotional investment. The more he remembers, the more it shows he is mentally present in your life, even when you are not together. You will notice he anticipates needs. That's a deep sign of quiet love. He brings something before you ask. He suggests something you were thinking about. He avoids things that upset you because he paid attention earlier. This is not performance. This is care becoming instinct. Small details also reveal respect. When he remembers your boundaries, your preferences, your dislikes, he is showing that your feelings matter. A man who loves silently may not constantly talk about respect, but he practices it through awareness. Another important detail is how he celebrates small things about you. He notices your effort. He sees changes others miss. Maybe he notices when you cut your hair, when you try something new, when you're nervous about something important. That awareness makes you feel seen, and feeling seen is one of the deepest emotional needs. Attention creates emotional intimacy without many words. You start feeling understood without explaining everything. You feel comfortable because he recognizes patterns in you. This kind of connection grows slowly but strongly. In silent love, details become the language. Instead of big declarations, you see thoughtful actions. Instead of dramatic romance, you see steady awareness. He might not describe his feelings clearly, but he demonstrates that you live in his thoughts. The truth is people reveal their priorities through attention. Where attention goes, energy follows. A man who pays attention to small details is investing emotional energy in you daily. Over time, those small details create a powerful message. You are important enough to be noticed, remembered, and considered. And when someone consistently notices the little things about you, it often means their feelings are much bigger than the words they struggle to say. Another strong sign he loves you deeply but in silence is that he protects you in quiet ways. Protection is one of the oldest languages of love, especially for a man who struggles to express emotions verbally. He may never stand in front of you and announce that he wants to protect you, but his behavior creates a sense of safety around you that you can feel. Quiet protection does not always look dramatic. It is rarely loud or obvious. Instead, it appears in small, consistent actions. He becomes aware of your environment. He pays attention to situations that might make you uncomfortable. He positions himself in ways that make you feel secure without drawing attention to it. You might notice he walks on the side closer to traffic, stands slightly closer in crowded places, or stays alert when you are together outside. These gestures seem simple, but they reflect instinct. A man does not do this consciously for everyone. He does it when someone matters deeply. Protection also shows up emotionally. A silently loving man is careful with your feelings. He may not always communicate perfectly, but he tries not to hurt you intentionally. When he realizes something affected you, his behavior changes. That adjustment is a protective instinct. He wants to reduce pain in your life, not add to it. He may defend you in subtle ways too. Not loud arguments, not dramatic confrontations, but quiet loyalty. If someone speaks negatively about you, he corrects it. If a situation disrespects you, he distances from it. His loyalty operates even when you are not present, and that is one of the deepest forms of protection. Another quiet form of protection is support during vulnerable moments. When you are anxious, overwhelmed, or uncertain, he becomes steady. He may not always have the right words, but he offers stability. Sometimes protection is simply being calm when you feel chaos. His steadiness becomes emotional shelter. A silently loving man also protects your privacy. He does not expose your personal matters to others. He does not use your vulnerabilities against you. He holds what you share with care. This type of protection shows respect, and respect is inseparable from real love. You may notice he encourages better choices for you. Not control, but care. He worries about your well-being, your safety, your stress, your health. He might remind you to rest, to eat, to be careful. These reminders are not random, they come from concern. Protection also appears in responsibility. He tries to handle problems that affect both of you. He thinks ahead. He considers consequences. A man who loves silently often expresses love by trying to make life smoother and safer for you over time.